Although the whole crypto market has been on its ass for the last week or two, especially this little gem right here, we do have a lot of things coming in from the Axie Infinity team and from the Axie Infinity community, and today they have released an Android version of the game for Axie Origin, as well as an update to the Axie Origin game. So let's have a look at that. So just yesterday they have released an update for Axie Origin, and with that update, as I have already said, Android will be available for download, and that is the APK. That's not the official game just yet, and it's still a good step in the right direction, because with Axie Infinity V2 we had about 80% of the player base playing on Android itself. So having access to that game will make sure that we get a lot more feedback, and the team can improve on that feedback, make the game a little bit more competitive, and fix a lot of bugs that the team will probably find, or that the players that are moving into the game, they will find those bugs as well. Especially using free starter Axies, they can just start playing the game right there and then. Blood Month will now start during round 15. With Axie Origin launch, it started at round 20 just a week ago. They moved it down to round 12 to speed up the game a little bit, and they are now settling at round 15, which I think is the sweet spot between the two of them, so that all of the teams are available. Because if it was round 12, then summon teams don't really make that much sense, as the Bloodmon will simply kill most of the summons, like the Mavis, like the Robin. All of them will die. All status and run effects will active simultaneously. This will make matches faster paced, and that is also true, because if you are running a healing pulse and if you are running a bunch of leaves, then it will take a lot longer for all of those to trigger, because they trigger one by one. I'm not sure why they designed it that way, but it does, and it takes a couple of seconds every single turn. So now that they all trigger simultaneously, then that should shave off a couple of minutes from the game as well. They've added a full HD graphic option in the setting, and a couple of bug fixes as well, and then they got the Android release as well. But let's jump into the UI improvements to start off with. So right at the start, we have quick access to Axie equipment. You can now click on an Axie avatar to check and edit its equipment. It's available in home, team, adventure mode, and arena mode screens, and that is really good, especially for newer users coming into the game. They can just simply navigate through all of those Axies, check out what this Axie is running, add a couple of runes, add a couple of charms. They don't have to go specifically into that tab to do that, so good quality of life change. Check Axie equipment when building a team. You can do that as well. They have filtered by equipment. Adding filtering options, in my opinion, always necessary, always good, because it's just much easier to find, especially if you're running a large inventory of, let's say, 100 or more Axies. Looking through all of those will be a pain in the butt, so having those filtering options will guarantee you finding them quicker as well. Favorite button for Axie, so you can just click on that hard, you will make your Axie favorite, and it will show at the top of the list. So when you are building a team, let's say you have 50 Axies but you're only using 5 of them, you can favorite all 5 of them and make teams between those 5, rather than looking through every single Axie that you have. Updated background on Axie interface. They just added the green screen right there. Well, not the green screen actually, but the little leaf and the tree. I'm not sure why they went with this black hole when selecting your Axies. It didn't really make any sense, so they went with that green, and it suits now. Looks good. Crafting recipes cost is shown now, even if you don't have enough material to craft it. I believe that's just a change for when they plan to release the Axie Origin official game. You can see the SLP right here as well, which will be needed for crafting real runes and charms. Alert when there is only 10 seconds left of your turn. I have skipped my turn a lot of times, so now just the timer on the top was not enough. Now you have one in the middle when your time is about to run down. So if you are looking for your draw pile, if you're looking for your opponent's draw or discard pile, you can now see the timer that you don't have enough time to play, and you have to start clicking your cards. Alert pop up when there aren't enough cards that fit a draw requirement. Also, you have to confirm that. Update energy reservoir UI. You can see in the bottom left, there is no longer that big jug of energy that was covering half of the screen and a couple of your Axies. They've changed it to this little thing right here. I'm not sure how that fits. It looks like it resembles this energy symbol right here. Maybe they could have made it a little bit more 3D, like the jog right here. Maybe just make that one a little bit smaller. But now for newer users, it will be much easier to realize that you have 3 energy and it costs 1 energy, because it's the exact same design of those numbers. So that's good, especially for newer users. Class icons for runes and charms in inventory. Now you don't have to wonder whether this one is going to aqua. You just have the icon right there to tell you. Notification badge for claiming foraging box. Well, we didn't really have to claim that box in the alpha version or the beta, I'm not sure which one it is, because we have access to all runes and charms. But in Axie Origin official game, that will not be the case. You will have to claim your moon shards to craft your runes and charms. It will be a process, so making sure that you claim it every 12 hours will be the way to go. Increase the size of tool and curse cards in collection and squeeze. So this was the previous one. If you hover over a rune, it would tell you what cards you would get, but they were really small, whereas now they are much bigger, easier to look at, easier to realize what this rune is actually holding. Not yet collected cards in collection grayed out. So I'm assuming if you don't have an Axie that has this card, it will simply be grayed out, maybe incentivizing you to buy an Axie. Could be an idea. Pop up to confirm tutorial replay, so you no longer just jump into a replay. Makes sense. So you don't waste time doing that. Show and hide password button on login screen. I mean, that's necessary. Unused inventory tab is removed. And still in development, they have automatically end player's turn if there aren't any playable cards. That should also shave a couple of seconds, maybe a couple of minutes from your matches. If your opponent is just trying to kill time, he will not be able to do that because it will automatically end your turn. There's a more efficient way to move runes and charms from one Axie to another. Again, especially if you're running a large inventory, you might need to move those runes and charms. If we have a limited amount of runes and charms once the game comes out, then you need a more efficient way to move those around, rather than just looking through your Axies, taking the runes and charms down and then putting them on another. Allow for equipping of runes and charms from the inventory. Another quality of life change that would just make it simpler for people to use those functions. And just to round out, we do have the early access mobile release, and this is huge for mass adoption of Axie Infinity game, especially in the bear market that we are currently. A lot of projects will not survive through this season, and Axie Infinity is here to stay. It's here to build, and that's what is happening. We can now welcome Android mobile users, and we have had quite a lot of Axie Infinity V2 users on mobile. It was about 80% of them. So getting those people into the game and checking out and finding any bugs, as well as delivering suggestions on how the game can be improved, will be a good starting point to make Axie Origin competitive and available for mass adoption. So that's gonna be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel for daily playthrough content, and I will see you in the next one.